time for Cigar Talk, the fastest growing cigar show in the nation.
Welcome back to Cigar Talk. I'm your host, Rob Jones. We got Bryant Falconer, the #1 co-host of
man.
Cigar Talk.
Stop,
How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm doing good. Bye.
You ain't going nowhere.
Why not?
Because I said.
Well, you told everybody I resigned.
That was funny. Bryant, and for you guys that don't know, Bryant messages me the next day, and he's like, "What'd you do?"
Yep. What did you say, man? Because I'm getting all these texts and these Instagrams. Folks like, "Why'd you leave?" I was like, I didn't go anywhere.
Dude, I had people just like, "Hey, man, I hope everything's okay between you and Bryant." And I was like, "Dude's a dick."
Yeah, I can believe it. I can believe it.
I don't ever want to see him face again.
Until he's over COVID.
No, I did come clean. I said, "Hey, man, it was a joke. It was a joke."
They didn't take it that way.
Well, you know what was funny is when I said that at the beginning of the show, I peppered it in throughout the show with,
I know.
"Yeah, I'm glad he's gone."
Yeah. I'm sitting there listening to the show. I'm like, this dude here, man.
Hey, man, but you know what? We got you back in as soon as you were available. You had COVID.
Moving.
You had a couple other things we're not going to discuss on the air. That's private.
No, I didn't have nothing but COVID. That's it.
So, okay, we're glad you're healthy.
I'm still a U.S. citizen.
There you go. So, anyway, let's tell everybody what we're smoking tonight.
I'm smoking a Viva La Vida Jester thanks to Vic.
Yeah, Vic from San Angelo, which is with Cigars for Warriors.
Yes, sir.
We're actually going to get Vic on a little bit later in the show. We're going to, give everybody a update on what's going on with Cigars for Warriors, and we're very fortunate to have Vic in our pretty close area. He's in San Angelo.
Yeah. Hour and 15.
And you know what we'll have to do? We'll have to go down there sometime and hang out with him.
Where?
They got a shop.
Yeah, me and Larry went to it, and we was told something beforehand that it wasn't, and we found out it was a great shop, didn't we, Larry? We did. Man.
Yeah, so we should do that sometime.
Yeah,
on a Saturday, we could zip on down there and smoke and
chill.
Yeah.
And then come back.
They got good coffee. They got your coffee out
Yeah.
there.
He's going to make sure we got good coffee.
Yeah, for those of you that might not know, Vic works at a coffee roaster, and I mean, they're not like roasting a pound or 2 pounds at a time.
Nope.
They are like the national level of roasting coffee.
Drug dealing coffee.
Yeah. And I mean, dude, they make
metric
all
tons
kinds of coffee.
Yeah.
I mean
you name it, they probably, if they don't make it now, they made it before.
So Vic is in town. He comes up from time to time, and usually on a Saturday or Sunday.
Came up to see
and
the
he came up today,
lose.
and he came over, and we saw the Cowboys just get drove.
Spanked.
I mean,
this is an old school.
You know what's funny about that is I said to myself yesterday, I bet the Cowboys show up thinking this one's in the bag, and they get.
And they played that way.
And they played. They looked lackluster from the get-go. The very first play was the best play of the entire game,
and that was it.
And it was what's the the running back's name? That's not the Zeke, but the other guy.
Yeah.
You remember?
I know he's number 20.
Yeah. So anyway, he was in the end zone when they kicked off. He took it from like 3-4 yards deep in the end zone and ran it past the 50.
Yeah.
That was it. Dude, that was like got the Cowboy crowd going, "Oh, we're going to kick some ass."
Not today.
And then they went 4 and out because they went for it on 4th. And then they went for it on 4th the next time they had the ball and didn't get it.
Didn't learn from the last time.
No, they never they never looked good on either side of the ball.
No, they just look like the regular Cowboys.
Well, that's what Vic said. That looks like last year.
Year before.
The year before that, yeah. So, I hope this is a wake-up call for them. Because it's either going to be a wake-up call or they're fixing to, lose 7 in a row.
That would be so funny to me. I would laugh every Sunday if that happened.
I can tell you right now, remember, I picked them to go 8 and 9.
Yeah.
So
where are they now?
They're 6-2.
6-2.
Yeah.
So you saying they win 2 more games and then the rest of them just done?
That was my prediction. Now I will say they've surprised me at how good they've looked over the last 6 games, and maybe my prediction is going to be blown out of the water. But after today, I'm like, yep, I could be spot on.
It's gonna be
fool me once.
Yeah, we know that the end of that. So
anyway, I'm smoking the Padron 1926 80th year anniversary.
Show out.
And it is well. I don't even have to tell you how good this is.
Let's go to the next topic. You tried to show out. Dude, you can't even think of anything to say.
No, I was going to say, did I interrupt you while you were talking about your cigar?
You always do.
But that's what I do.
I thank you. Somehow did I? Yes, you always do.
Oh, yeah. Thought I was going to make a case for myself.
Not happening.
So anyway, let's talk about our sponsors right
Most
quick.
definitely.
We've got Jay that, wow. He put up one of our Cigar Talk signs in the studio, in the lounge, right there at the front. I thought maybe he would tuck it away, put it behind the antlers of that deer so nobody could see it. But no, dude, he freaking put it right there. It made me feel like, well, Jay just blesses you in so many ways.
In so many ways. There's never been a time I've gone into the Leaf that I haven't been blessed, except when I found out I had COVID.
Well,
but other than that still was a blessing. I was like, I need to go home.
Anybody who's had the opportunity that listens to this show to actually go in person to the Leaf, dude, when they leave the Leaf, I hear about how great the Leaf is for weeks.
They never stop talking about it.
Vic could not drive an hour or so to get here, but he does on a pretty regular basis. And I think that says a lot for how special the Leaf is. And that's if you get to go in person. But let me tell you, if you can't make it in person, you can call them up and they will make you an order and they get it out the same day.
Every time.
And they pack it with Bovettas. And like Zeka, he's actually been in person. He went on and on about it. And he even said, if you guys are not going or calling the Leaf, you're doing yourself a disservice because Jay takes care of his people.
Every time.
And you know what? Yeah, we'll move on. Look down in the show notes, and we'll have the phone number to the Leaf. You can call them up. They carry the cigars that sponsor our show, and that leads us to our next one, which is Tabanero. And holy cow, if you have not tried Tabanero, you're missing out on one of the finest perfections on earth.
Wow.
I have not smoked. And now I will say I've smoked a ton of Tabanero in the last 2 months, and I have not had one single construction issue on a single one of those sticks.
We know that's your pet peeve.
Oh, dude.
Number one.
Yeah, boom. Number one. That right out of the gate. Yeah. Because
I can't even think if I've had. No, I haven't had any. And I haven't smoked as many as you have, but I've smoked a lot. I haven't had a construction issue yet, not once.
Well,
the draw has been perfect every time.
When
we
come back from the break, I'm going to be smoking a Tabanero mic, and I love that stick, and it's a unique Vitola. So I would normally not gravitate to a Vitola like that, and I'll show it to you guys later. But that cigar actually blew me away. I was like, that surprised me.
That is a good stick,
and on that unique Vitola, the burn was still perfect. You know what I mean? So, that takes a lot of craftsmanship to make cigars like that. So, if you guys have not tried Tabanero, look down in the show notes, and there will be a link that you can go to, and they'll check out what they have on their website. Or you can call up Jay at the Leaf. And he will pack them up and send them out to you. And I'll tell you what, when I first started smoking the Tabanero Connecticut, I was blown away. And then I smoked the Habano. And I was like, wow, that's kicking it up a notch. And then this week I started smoking the Maduros. And I was like, you're making it hard for me to pick, but you're giving me great choices throughout the entire day. Because I still love the Connecticut first thing in the morning, but I will also even smoke the Habano.
First in the morning?
First in the morning. And the Maduro, I'm going to say that's at least after I've had luncheon on.
I got you.
But, dude, they're knocking it out of the park. Try them if you haven't had them.
If you haven't had them, you are doing yourself a disservice. I
agree. Yes. I agree. So let's jump into our pick 6 of the week. We haven't, since you were gone, well, when you were gone, we didn't do the pick 6. No, we did. Yeah, we did.
See, Larry said, yes, you did. You told a story.
I did.
You fibbed. You lied.
Every day, all day.
Yes, we know that.
That's my motto.
He says it, gauge it.
That's my policy.
Yes. What did he say? Nah, it ain't happening.
Well, it might be happening.
Nah.
It's not true.
It ain't true, but it ain't happening. So who's going to go first?
You are, of course.
I know. So my pick 6 of this week in no order, the 5 Vegas Nicaragua.
Nice.
You gave me, I smoked one before. I liked it, but the one that you gave me.
That 6x40.
Oh, man.
I love that stick.
Dude.
It
accentuated that first one and made me remember why I liked that first one. I was like, yeah, this is a good stick, man.
I agree. And it's not a stick that you're like, that you're thinking is going to be something. And it was solid. And the burn. I even showed Vic the burn. I was like, dude, look at the burn on this.
Look at it. Dimes.
And that's when you're enjoying the cigars because you're not having to jack with the construction.
Like you talked about last week. Those things you have to do.
Right.
And number 2 is going to come in. I had to have this one because I remembered the taste.
You remember where the lighter goes right here?
I remember the taste.
The middle of the table.
I remembered the construction. I remembered everything about it. And it was the definition of solidarity. That's the red ribbon.
I don't know if I've had that one.
Oh, you need to try it. You need to try it. It's a staple, man, because it's one of those that you know what you're going to get every time. And I hadn't had one in a minute because I was with the maroon. I can't remember what what's the maroon one? Conception. Yeah, the Conception. I had been smoking those for a while. And I walked past. I said, man, I remember this was good. Let me see. I got another one. I was like, yep. Every time, the exact same thing.
I'm very happy to hear that. Yeah. I'm excited. You know what? I love the guys that run that company.
Yes, sir.
And so I have very high hopes for them, and I hope they just can hit a home run with what they're doing.
Yeah, keep it going. And my last is going to be the one I got out of my Cigar Rights of America pack.
Oh, here we go. Here we go, showboating. Here we go.
No, you smoking a Padron. Hey, you telling me I'm showboating?
You know what? I feel like you're fixing to drop the ball right before you cross the goal line.
No, never that. Opus X Destino El Siglo.
I saw you smoking it last night.
Anybody doesn't know about Fuente and Fuente, those Opus X's, bruh.
You know what? I'm not a huge Opus fan personally.
I am.
I'm really not. I mean, if I'm going to spend the kind of money that Opus is, one, I'm going with Padron. I think Padron's better. Why are you laughing?
Because it's you.
You don't think Padron's better than Opus?
I know Padron is better in certain Vitolas and certain blends, yes. But this one, I'm not going to put it up. I'm not going to say it's on that upper echelon.
I'm saying if you stack them up and you take 50 sticks of each one and you put them on a scale and it's got a chain going up and down, this is Padron and this is Opus, where are we landing? Or don't tell me it's right here. It's like here.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like there's only like 3 Opus that I've had that I really liked.
Okay. Better than none.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because that's the way you were talking.
No.
It's way up here. Opus is way up here, and Padron is down there at the bottom. They keep bouncing off the floor.
I love the Lost City, but I don't like paying $42 for it.
I like it, but I can't pay that $42.
Right.
So, that's why you notice I didn't say the Lost City.
I can get a 1926 for $27.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I can take that $16 left over and buy me a Tabanero, a McAuliffe, Viva La Vida. So I get 2 cigars for the price of that Opus.
Buy me a green air freshener.
I already got one right there for you.
That's where I'm going with it. It's on you now, bro.
Did you know that was there?
I've always known those were there.
You know, that was back then. That was there in the
They're
Madden
not even
days.
green anymore.
That was in the Madden days.
Oh, yeah, I remember. We're going to leave that alone.
True. So anyway, I do love this stick, and you've got 3 good sticks. I mean, I'm not knocking the Opus.
You're not going there.
I'm not digging it as on the level that you were.
Anyway, next.
So my 3 this week, and I mean, dude, it's been hard for me to even pick 3 because I've been smoking like cigars that are knocking me out.
It's hard to pick 3 when you smoke 8 a day.
That's true. Yes, sir.
When you smoke 8 a day, it's hard to pick 3. So give me these 3, because these have to be dynamic 3.
They are.
All right. If you say that Padron, I'm leaving.
No, I that doesn't count because I have not smoked it yet.
Yeah, I got you.
But
it's going to be on next
now,
week.
if I smoked this exact cigar yesterday, I could still name it. But that's the rules. You can't.
I know. It has to be passed. Yeah.
So anyway, I'm going to start out with the Tabanero Habano.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And you know what? I've been going back and forth on that one, smoking the Toro, the Robusto, the Toro, the Robusto. And I think I like the Robusto best. Now, the Toro is very good. Yeah. And Jay just brought in the Torpedo. Mm-hmm. And I believe it's a box press Torpedo. And I like that one. But for me, I think the Robusto, and you know, I probably smoke more Robusto than anything else I smoke. I do like trying smaller ring gauges, but I don't like going below a 40.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So anyway, great stick.
Please don't give on Lancero.
Yeah, you know what? We were talking about that before the show, me and Vic, and it's like, dude, I mean, once you get down to that 38 ring gauge, as fast as I normally smoke, a Lancero is not really, and I don't really care for, at a 38, I don't feel like I get a good draw.
Okay.
Because I mean, you don't have the capacity for the air.
I got you.
You know what I mean? Okay. I think of the cigars in a very physical way.
We're going to leave that alone because we know you.
So, you know.
We're going to leave that alone. Can we get number 2 now, please?
All right. Fair enough.
Reel them in, Larry. Reel them in.
So, I also had the Habano Casa Cuevas.
Good
also
stick.
A really good stick. And I'm going to tell you what. I think their construction, if I was going to give them a score of 1 to 10, their construction is a 9, and which is fantastic.
I can agree with that.
You know what I mean? Because on a rare occasion, I've had a few problems with their cigars, but it's very rare.
Gotcha.
And it's within the tolerance of me saying, yeah, I'm going to keep buying those.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Because you ain't going to spend your money on nothing you don't want.
Right.
We know you.
And I mean, it's a medium stick, little bit of spice in it.
Yes.
You get like that earthy burnt hay. I'm just kidding.
The earthy burnt hay. We had Kentucky.
No, but it's a earthy with some like just refreshing spice.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
It's almost like a bourbon spice.
I'm trying to figure out what your definition, your description. I'm like, I didn't get that.
No, I was kidding on the burnt hay.
I hope.
So, but anyway, no, I think, and dude, it's not a very expensive stick. I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of $8-9. So, you know, and then for my final cigar, that wasn't 3.
Yes, it will be 3.
Yeah, this one, the final.
Yeah, I just dropped down because I wanted to hear what you were saying.
Oh, I thought you were saying I was doing a 4th one. No. I was like, because I have done that. And that's the
many
look,
a time.
That's the look you give me. He's like, oh, you get another one. So, no. This last week at the Leaf, I was there and I smoked in the morning for not breakfast, but with my coffee, the La Galera, Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
What coffee did you have?
Top 3. I think they were having the Colombian that day, and it was spot on.
That's a perfect pairing. Yes.
You know what? And like when I have the Colombian or the Sumatra or the Costa Rican, those I love that La Galera, Connecticut. Yeah. What I don't like it with is the Kenya AA. It doesn't hold up to that kick
that coffee has.
The coffee overpowers it, and so I say it's great with coffee, but you got to know your coffee.
Yeah, true.
You don't want something over the top,
and then you don't want to drink Folgers with it.
No,
because it's going to overpower that.
No, you don't want to drink Folgers with anything, not even with a hangover.
It might help.
No, I don't know. Have I ever shared with you my hangover preventer?
No, I haven't heard this.
So a lot of people claim to have a remedy
for a hangover.
My remedy is a prevention that you never get the hangover.
So you do it before.
Right.
Okay.
So let's just say you go out or let's say you're sitting on the patio and you have more than you normally would, which is a regular occurrence here at the studio. And Larry says that would only be true, but that's always the case. So it's not unexpected. But anyway, let's just say that you have one too many. Mm-hmm. Before I go to bed, I drink 2 bottles of water and I take 4 ibuprofens. I wake up feeling like a champ.
But you know what's happening with your liver?
I don't care.
First of all, the alcohol is killing it.
Let me tell you something.
Then that ibuprofen is down there like, yeah, keep eating. I'm coming second. I'm coming behind it. 4 ibuprofen?
You can take 3.
What's the milligrams on it?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
if you're taking 800s.
No. These are just the.
You keep forgetting I was a medic.
These are like, I want to say
all we told people to have was get a bottle of water and 2 800s and get back out there.
I think these are like maybe 40 milligram.
Oh, okay.
They're small. So
okay.
4 of those, 160 milligram. Whew. And I tell you what, dude, I wake up feeling like a champ. I don't even notice that I had anything to drink the night before.
Okay. That's yours.
That's what I do.
I hear you.
So
it works for you.
I don't need a remedy.
Yeah, because when you're waking up in them bushes, you need I just need 4 ibuprofen. Just let me get 4.
You know what's funny is a lot of times after we do a show, when I go in the house and we have been drinking in the 5-6 hours, when I walk in, you know what my wife calls me?
What?
Hey, Bushy. That's been my drunken name from my wife ever since the bushes.
The bushes. Yeah, when you told us about the bushes again, I was like, this dude, man.
I come walking in the house. She's like, how you doing, Bushy?
But the thing he told me, Larry and Ed, last night, he woke up in the bushes because the phone was ringing. And he's like, you need to come on. He said, well, first of all, I don't know where my car is. And second, I got on flip-flops. When I wake back up, I'll make it there.
I said, I can't drive.
It's just amazing, man.
So,
it's
all
amazing.
Right, well, you can't just tell that part.
It's amazing.
I'm going to give you a brief overview of why I don't drink tequila.
Thank you.
So, anyway, I don't want to go into all the details, but I was going to probably get my ass kicked, and I had drank a shit ton of tequila, and I did the old rope-a-dope and hauled ass out the front door. I was just going to haul ass, but I couldn't find my car. So
I know I got here.
To keep myself from getting my ass kicked, I dove into some bushes and laid there. And I didn't get my ass kicked.
Until the phone rang in the morning.
And then at 5:30 in the morning, my wife calls and says, where the hell are you? And I'm like, looks like I'm laying in some bushes. So, that's why I...
But see, at least this time you still had clothes on.
Quit creating other stories.
Hey, it's too many of them, man.
I believe in living free.
We know. We know.
Living
it could be
free.
35 degrees below zero. He going to have on the same khaki shorts, flip-flops, and a Hawaiian shirt.
Or a T-shirt. I got the T-shirt or the Hawaiian shirt.
35 below. He walking in the leaf. Man, we bundled up in the leaf. He's like, it ain't hot. It ain't cold. Where?
My legs don't get cold.
They couldn't. Because you don't ever wear pants.
I don't like... what's funny is Larry came in the leaf not long ago, and he was like, I've never seen you wear long pants. And I thought 2 things. I thought, that's true.
Yeah. And
Larry is old because nobody says long pants. I was like, I had to think, what are long pants? I felt like I was watching The Lone Ranger, and Tonto was like, "You wear long pants."
Long pants.
So, anyway, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we have an amazing guest.
Yes.
We have the lovely WWE Diva, Terri Runnels, on the show. If you guys don't know, she's actually a cigar aficionado.
Yes.
She's been smoking cigars forever. And while she was smoking cigars back in the day on the WWE, the owner, Vincent, or Vince.
It's Vincent, but they call him Vince.
But it's Vince what?
McMahon.
Yeah. Is that what we said?
Yeah.
I never. I'm like, McDonald.
Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon. I think his wife's name starts with a P.
So the funny thing is, Vince would always like tell her, Terry, put that out, it's stinking up the place. And then like 2 months later, he was on the cover of Cigar Aficionado.
Yeah. It's like, really? She just couldn't smoke them.
You know what? No, he doesn't smoke cigars.
I said she couldn't smoke them.
But I said that is exactly the model of Cigar Aficionado. Fake.
Not real.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to bash Cigar Aficionado. Lord knows I've done enough of that in the past. So anyway, We'll be right back after a quick break. We've got Terri Runnels coming up next. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Oh, no. Did you stop already?
No.
Do it right.
So, no. We don't have Terri Runnels coming up next. We have Vic from Cigars for Warriors coming up next.
Which is what you told him in the beginning.
Yeah, I told you that. So he's going to come on. We're going to get an update about Cigars for Warriors. And then when we come back, we'll just lead straight into the interview with Terri Runnels. You're not going to want to miss. She is just an exciting stories to be heard. And I don't know of anybody that is more like grounded and just a good person.
But you know what you just did?
What?
You built this mountain that Vic not climbed. Because you made everything about Terri wonderful, which is true. And Vic's sitting over there like, man, I don't want to go. I don't want to talk.
Yeah. When he got here, I was like, dude, come on the show and update us. He's like, that's not really my thing, man. And I was like, come on.
And now you did this.
No, I gave him a bunch of bourbon. And he's like, all right, I'll do it. So anyway, guys, we'll be right back and we'll have Vic from Cigars for Warriors. Thanks for sticking with us. We'll be right back after a quick break. Hey guys, we got Vic from Cigars for Warriors with us. He swung by today. He watched the Cowboys get their asses kicked. We've drank a few good bourbons and we've smoked a lot of good cigars. Thanks for coming, man.
Several. Thank you, Rob.
Hey, you're welcome. So, before we dive into Cigars for Warriors, I want to know when you started smoking cigars originally, because you were talking about smoking cigars in the 90s when I had never even thought of smoking a cigar.
Yeah, so I was in the Marine Corps from 79 to 86, so that's when I started smoking.
You are old.
Early 80s. I am.
Wow, you're old.
I'm a fossil.
Dude, you were in the Marines before I was in high school. Wow. And I mean, people think I'm old.
Yeah, well, someone's got to make old look good, right?
Hey, that's what I do. So anyway, wow, man. So way back when you actually went into cigars when it wasn't even like a popular thing to do. I mean, 79.
Not so heavy, though. I mean, smoked a few here to there.
Right. But I mean, not that many people were smoking cigars and it really caught on.
Right.
So about when did it catch on? Do you remember?
Well, I know there was a big boom in the 90s, the early 90s. And, we're going through a boom now, I think, too.
Oh, I think we're in the middle of a huge boom. And, the funny thing to me is people thought that it was going to be a big nail in the coffin for so many cigar shops. And I think that the pandemic has actually helped fuel the boom.
A lot of people were staying at home, so obviously they were smoking at home. Cigars for Warriors, we used to do a lot of events, and we still do, but COVID.
Yeah, I remember you doing
slowed
some
us
events
down.
here at the Leaf.
Yeah, we have done quite a few at the Leaf with
And
Jay.
let me tell you guys something that like nobody knows. like an event is good. I enjoy going to most events, but Vic makes events badass. Dude, you add so much to an event.
Oh, you're making me blush. Right?
I'm serious. When you're there representing Cigars for Warriors, I mean, you do so much to engage the people at the shops.
Well, that's what it's all about. I mean, so our whole purpose at CFW, obviously, is to send premium cigars and accessories to our troops that are stationed in combat zones. So when our guys get a bag of cigars over there, it's literally like a 2-hour vacation for them, because they're in areas where they can't get cigars, and it also lets them know that people at home are thinking about them.
Absolutely. And I mean, dude, that is like when you're in the situation that those soldiers are in, the gift of a cigar, I mean, it's like for the guys that smoke cigars, that's like, dude.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
awesome.
if I was the Army guy, every time mail call comes, I'm like, where's the cigars? Because, I'm about to shoot somebody here. But, I love what you guys do. And I was asking earlier if Cigars for Warriors was going to be at the TPE, and you said you're pretty sure they are.
Yes, I'm pretty sure we are.
You know what? I'm going, and I'm still waiting. If you are like working on the TPE, if you work for the organization, I'm still waiting for our press passes. Thank you.
Storm, do you hear this?
Yeah, Storm, help me out, bro. So anyway, we're going to go, but I was excited to find out that they're going to be there because I want to hang out with those guys.
Yeah.
I love smoking and listening to stories from Storm. Storm is a colorful guy.
Yeah, that's an understatement. He's quite the character.
Yeah, and I mean, he's got a great heart for what he's doing. And so, I mean, you guys, the organization, I mean, you guys do some of the best charity work of all charities that relate to cigars.
Well, thanks, Rob. We've donated over 1 million. I believe we're close to 1.3 million cigars to our troops
No
now.
kidding.
Yeah, so it's a big deal. And we're more than cigars. We'll send anything that's donated to the troops: coffee, socks, magazines, video games, you name it.
So anything that people send y'all send it all.
Absolutely, 100%.
That makes me think that I want to send something fun.
Well, it has its limitations.
Not long ago, somebody sent us a dildo.
Yeah, we're going to pass on
Okay. I was like, that might be, you never. All right, let's just.
Let me give you Storm's address for that.
So anyway, no, you guys, we'll put down a link to Cigars for Warriors down in the show notes.
Thank you.
And if you'd like to donate to them or find out how to get involved, I mean, nobody in the entire organization takes a dime.
That's true.
That's an opportunity to actually serve a community. You know what? I mean, like if Cigars for Warriors had different positions, like a lot of nonprofits do, and they're making millions of dollars, I'm like, you know what? Take some of that money you're making and you buy cigars and send them over. It just gives you that, like, it doesn't make sense. But whenever everybody in the organization is doing it because they want to give back to the servicemen and women, that makes it a special charity, man.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. I mean, from Storm all the way down, I'm an event coordinator is my title. And like you said, we are all volunteers. Storm is the chairman and one of the founders, but even he draws no salary from it.
Yeah.
100% of our proceeds go directly to the troops and to shipping, of course.
Well,
of the
sure.
cigars.
That's part of it.
Right.
So, I mean, if you guys are looking to be part of a charity and you want to give back, that's the one that I love. So
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
And we appreciate your support, Rob.
Oh, we got you right here, bro.
Yeah, thank
we got
you.
you right there. And so, you know what? We're going to start putting you guys down in the show notes just every week. That way, if people are looking, it's one of the ways that we can help, spur on what you guys are doing.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And it's all about the troops, as we all know.
It is. And, down at the Leaf, I've had the good fortune because Dias is here. Mm-hmm. We get to meet several servicemen and women, and it's just a great community to be able to help in any way.
Yeah, I agree.
So before I let you go, I want you to tell people at home or in your car or wherever the hell they are, how good is the Leaf?
Oh, man, the Leaf is excellent. Jay just does a fantastic job. Very personable guy. You mentioned earlier the shipping, anything you need. If you can't get to the Leaf, which if you live within a few hundred miles of the Leaf,
it's worth the trip.
Yeah, you're definitely doing yourself a disservice not to go check it out. But Jay will take care of you. He's all about customer service. Great selection of cigars. The new location is just amazing. Just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we all love the Leaf at the old location because the people.
Right.
The new Leaf we love because the facility is amazing and you still have the same people. Yeah. You know what I mean?
What's the room in the back? The Havana room?
The Havana room.
Yeah, awesome.
I mean, just to hang out back there and just, I mean, feel like you're at your own place. You know what I mean? That's how comfortable you are when you're there.
Good coffee, good everything. Of course, the coffee could be better. He could be buying some Dakota coffee.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
You know, it's good coffee, too.
They do have good coffee. I brag about their coffee all the time because I'm going to say right now, Abilene has a lot of bad coffee. Several places I've been have bad coffee.
You know, honestly, though, Abilene, for the size of it, is really a pretty neat city, I think.
That's because you don't live here. you're just, dude, I think San Angelo blows Abilene away as far as like just the town planning and what you guys are doing, the downtown area.
Yeah, the river's nice.
Yeah, the river's nice.
And the port,
they've really like brought that to the forefront of their planning and like built around it. And I loved it when I was down there. In fact, I came down there. We were going to get together. We were going to go see that band. I don't remember their name, but I think your wife was sick or you were sick and it didn't happen.
Right.
But I had a great time. I went down there and I thought San Angelo was like, wow, nice.
Yeah, and we've got a good cigar shop there too. So, yeah, we should get together there sometime.
Oh, we'll definitely do that.
Yeah, at the Colonel's.
Well, hey, man, thanks for taking the time to come on the show and talk to us. We love that you're within driving distance and you can come hang out on a semi-regular basis. And so anytime you're in town, man, let us know.
All right. I appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Vic. We'll be right back with Terri Runnels, guys. Don't go anywhere. It'll be a quick little break. Hey, guys, thanks for hanging through the break. We have a very special guest with us this evening. We have the one and only Miss Terri Runnels of the WCW, the WWF, and the WWE, and one of the best cigar aficionados out of all of those groups. So we want to say thank you for joining us, Terri. How are you this evening?
I'm great. That's a whole lot of acronyms, isn't it?
That is.
You did a great job of spouting all those off.
I'm going to tell you, I'm impressed with myself already. So, hey, so thank you for taking the time. I know you said earlier you're in Georgia and you normally live in Florida. So what are you doing in Georgia?
I am house sitting for the friend that helped me with all of the sound situations. His sad story, but his dad passed recently. His mom is having surgery in Michigan. And so I can do what I do from anywhere in the world. So I said, I will take care of your abode and you go and do what you need to do. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's always great to help friends.
Ironically enough, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, ironically enough, he 30 some odd years ago answered an ad for me. He worked at CNN. I worked at CNN. Hello, airplane. He answered an ad to be my roommate. And so he and I were roommates like 30 years ago.
Oh, no way.
So it's kind of interesting. I mean, he's here for a little bit before he goes to Michigan, but it feels like, the old times where we're roomies again.
That's awesome. And so we're going to get to a lot of your history, but I want to go even further back. Like, when
I was born?
Yeah, where did you grow up?
Oh, I was being facetious. I grew up in Live Oak, Florida. little tiny town that, my joke is that the stork dropped me off with the wrong family, the wrong town, because all I ever wanted to do was get into the big wide world and be a part of it. And so finally at 17, after I graduated high school, I bounced. So, yeah.
And so what was your first destination when you bounced?
I bounced to ATL, which is where I'm at now. And I went to a fashion college. Now, talk about your, real, let's see, what would be the antithesis of an ivory, what would it be? Like an ebony school? I don't know. But yeah, it was a fashion college that I went to in Atlanta, Georgia.
That's awesome. I mean, and the funny thing is, my sister graduated in a high school class of 11, and
wow.
She went to a fashion college.
She did too?
She actually did. It was in Dallas,
Now
Texas.
I feel bad that I was mocking it and making fun of it. I'm so sorry to your sister.
Well, after she did that, she went to school and became a RN and got into the medical profession. So, but you know what? It was the whole thing. That's what she wanted to experience.
Right. You know what? I'm going to tell you this right now. Your sister and I, do you have more than one sister?
Well, technically I have two, but I only claim this one.
Okay. Well, so I have something in common with your sister that I found out about today.
What's that?
Ready?
I'm ready.
Ready for this? It is that your sister and myself, we both like testicles.
I thought that was across the board for at least 50%.
What? Yes. So I went to a testicle festival, and there was every testicle that you could imagine. I love them so much. So I found out about this because you were asking someone if they ate mountain oysters, and you said your sister had.
Yes,
I love them in any shape, form, or fashion. I love them. I even love them in the seafood fashion. Because
that is so funny to me that you watched one of the episodes where I talked about that.
I was thrilled. The sea urchin, the part of the sea urchin that you eat in a seafood restaurant, in a sushi restaurant, is the sperm of the sea urchin. That's called uni, U-N-I. And I love uni. So, I mean, literally, I don't know of any testicle that I
don't like,
have turned down or don't want to eat. Now, that's getting a little crazy. So let's bring it back to where I'm a good human being.
Yes. Well, you know what? I mean, everybody loves different experiences. And I think life, that's what it's about, is just having experiences. Some of them you enjoy, some of them you don't, and some of them you absolutely love.
Yeah, well, I love them.
That's awesome. So you went to the fashion industry college. So
yes.
What did you do after that? Or how did you get from there onto your next endeavor? So
to answer that, I have to be a little Jerry Springer-ish.
That's okay.
And say to you that my parents were divorced, and my father was quite the jackass. And he paid for the first year of college and told me if I wanted to go any longer, that my mother would have to pay for it. So I did not want to burden my mother, because God love her, she had busted ass to take care of us. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to quit. I'm going to go home, regroup. Left, went home. I started doing ad layouts for the newspaper, and the Swanee Democrat. It's not the Washington Post, but
right.
Anyway.
But it felt like it at the time.
It was just like I remember doing an ad layout, and I remember thinking to myself, I'm going to shoot myself if I do not leave here, because originally that's all I wanted was to get the hell out of Dodge, right? So I called up one of my professors. Now, when I say the word professor and fashion college, that's kind of like just like a anyway, I called one of my professors and said, I've got to get out of here. Help me. And she's like, well, my hairdresser is looking for someone to answer the phones, sweep the floors, wash the towels, and shampoo hair. And I said, girl, Sign me up.
On it.
Sign me up. So I
and what
went
town?
and
what town was that in? What town was the
in Atlanta? Back to Atlanta.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I'd gone from Atlanta back to Live Oak, and then So I get up there, and I know that Mama, me being Mama ain't stopping. There's no way this is going to be where I end up. So one of the I digress. One of the anchors from CNN back then. CNN had just started. It was called Chicken Noodle News because no one thought that who would want to watch news 24 hours a day?
Right.
Yeah. So one of the anchors from CNN came in to get her hair done. And so I'm like, television, makeup, me, yes. So as I'm shampooing, I go, her name was Susan Lisovich, by the way. I'm like, who's in charge of makeup at CNN? The mistake she made was telling me the woman's name was Ramona Horton. And I called that woman, I swear to the good Lord, probably every day for 30 days to the point where she was just like,
I'll hire you if you'll quit bothering me.
She's like, just come in. I'll give you an interview. Okay. Just come in. So I came in and she was very short with me. She's like, this gentleman's name is Patrick Greenlaw. He's going on air in 5 minutes. Do his makeup. Well, damn. Okay.
And have you done makeup on men before for any?
Yes.
activity?
Yes.
Okay.
I had done. I'll go back to that in a second. If you remind me to go back to that in a second, because I'll chase rabbits all directions. Anyway, I did his makeup. He left the room. She said, "You're hired."
Wow.
So going backward, my best friend from childhood, Vicki Denise Johnson, her mom owned a clothing store and a Merle Norman cosmetic store within the clothing. I don't know if you know what a Merle Norman cosmetics store is, but I knew I loved makeup from the time that I took my grandmother's lipstick, put it on my eyes at 5 years of age, not knowing what to do with it, ended up in the hospital because my eyes swelled shut. But I was just like I just loved makeup, right? And hair. So anyway, when I was 13, I started working in her store doing makeup and everything.
Oh, wow.
So then I started with community theater. So I would do theater makeup and everything else. So I didn't have a license to do this at all, but I had gumption, by golly.
Right.
And I was hired. But I was the low man on the totem pole. So it became my duty to do makeup on the weekends. And on the weekends, Jim Crockett flew all of his guys in from the NWA to tape at Ted Turner's studio, Techwood Studios in Atlanta. So it was my job to do makeup for all the wrestlers, for all the commentators, for everyone.
Now, what did the NWA stand for?
National Wrestling Alliance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what guys would we know from that group?
Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Rick Rude.
Oh, so that's yeah.
I'll give you a lot more. Hawk and Animal, Legion of Doom.
Wow. So you were doing those guys' makeups?
Big Boss Man. There's just a plethora of people. Lex Luger, Sting, all of them.
Wow.
Yeah. Terry Taylor, Ricky Morton, Tommy Rich.
Now, how was it doing their makeup? Were they cool to work with, or were they a pain in the ass? So, clarification. So I didn't do makeup on every wrestler, but those that had painted faces, I would do makeup on. I never did Sting's makeup. He had his own little system down. But like any of the commentators or, anyone that was a guest or whatever, I did makeup for them. So, yeah, that's how I started out. And one day, Tony Schiavone took me to lunch at CNN Center and said, we want you to be this on-air character. And he explained the character to me. And, he said, are you interested? And I said, yeah, I'm definitely interested, but what's in it for me?
Right. I'm like, okay, I already have a job that I have to be at work at 4 a.m. Have to be there at 4 a.m. You don't wake up at 4, you are there at 4.
And what time did you get to go home if you were there at 4?
Noon. However, once I started with my Alexander York character, Rob, I would get off at noon and either fly or drive to where we were doing TVs. I would do makeup and do makeup and my character. And then go home. And there were times where I would get home, not even have time to shower before I went back to work. So I'll tell you a quick story. We were in Alabama somewhere. I believe it was Montgomery. And I remember being at gorilla position and hearing someone say, "Watch her. I don't think she's going to make it."
Wow.
That's what I hear audibly. And I'm so out of it at the point that I hear this. I walked to the ring. I held on to the ring post. I was not in character at all. And when the match was over, I did nothing, by the way. I just held on to the ring post. When the match was over and we were walking back, I lost sight in one eye. And they sent me to the hospital immediately, and they did all these tests. And when I was doing my MRIs, they kept saying to me, they kept stopping me and shaking me, going, we can't do the test if you're snoring like this because you're vibrating.
Wow.
Yeah. So once they finally got all the tests done, they're like, the only thing we can find wrong with you is that you're exhausted. You are literally exhausted. And I was like, well, that makes a whole lot of sense because I don't sleep anymore. I just work.
Right.
So there you go. That was my entree into the world of wrestling.
Wow. And so, you had no idea that you were going to end up going into the wrestling arena.
No.
And then once you got there, though, what was that like? Like, as a young woman, and all of a sudden now you're in the wrestling world.
I still didn't think I was where I was going. I thought this was, but a little lily pad onto the next lily pad. But then I fell in love with it, and it got into my bones and into my soul. And, it was, I'm so grateful that I was a part of the old school, the old kayfabe, back in the day where you definitely didn't smarten other people up, and you definitely, if you were working a program with the other person, you were not seen together. It was you protected the business.
Right.
I'm thrilled that I was part of that. And then I'm also thrilled that I was part of the Attitude Era as well. And those are two eras that will never, ever, ever be able to come back.
Right.
It's just a different world now. And I really wish for the young guys and girls today that they could just for a moment be in both of those eras and just feel how magical both of them were.
So, as a young woman being in that atmosphere and being in that community, what was it that drew you in that kept you there? Is there a lot like a community there, or?
Yes, it's like a family.
Okay.
It's like a family, and with a family, you can argue amongst yourselves, but by God, nobody else should say anything negative about your brethren, right?
Right.
So it's like we could, be mad at each other, but don't let anybody else from the outside world be mad at us because we'll take up for each other.
Even if you're mad at that one person, the outside don't pick on this guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I grew up as a young boy in Texas, so I was a huge fan of the Von Erichs. Did you ever get to meet any of those guys?
So, ironically enough, they were not around when I was. They, there's so much sadness.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so when I started in 1985, they were not. I was not around them a lot.
Okay.
It was so I didn't get to know them, but we all know their history and their heritage.
Right.
And, I think they're an amazing family. It's just sad that, things have been as they were, I guess.
I understand. So let me ask you this. So you were known as Marlena, and I read several articles about you, and I saw that what I enjoyed more learning about you was not in the articles, but it was in the comment section of the articles. And I will tell you this, that the fans loved you. And one of the biggest comments that stood out to me was that you were known as Marlena, the most memorable manager.
Well, thank you. And it's interesting. I try not to read those comments because there are some extremely salacious and, let's be frank, rude comments that, I have a huge heart and I love doing great things for people. Yes, I knew that part of my role in the business was my sexuality and putting it out there. So, the male demographic that we know that, that's our demographic. I made them happy in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
So, so I don't read those comments because it
I completely understand, because there are miserable trolls out there, and that's what they do. And I don't know if you heard this episode, but I even said I had the comment of someone talking about me on Cigar Talk, and it referred to me as that drunk, obnoxious host. And I was like, I love that guy because he tells the truth.
You're so funny. Well, if you like that guy, I like him too. But yeah, so I appreciate you saying that to me, because I
saw tons of fans posting great messages about you.
Well, that makes me happy. And the Marlena character is one that is my favorite because I created her. The only thing I created about Alexandra York in WCW was her name. They had the entire character, panned out and decided exactly who and what I would be. I came up with the name Alexandra York because I thought it sounded snooty and snobby, and that's what, I was going to be a heel. So I just thought that sounded snobby. So when I created Marlena, Dustin had just started being Goldust, and he was on the road, and I was in our gym, and we had a gym and tanning thing downstairs in our basement. And so I was laying in the tanning bed, and I just started thinking, like, what is it that WWF, at the time it was WWF, what is it that they don't have? Like, what are they missing female wise? And I started thinking about Dustin's character, and I had just been home, and my sister had this Barbie doll collection that she would have, she wouldn't open the boxes. They were all in pristine condition. And I saw this one Bob Mackie Barbie doll, and it was called Sun Goddess. And it was this, like, just everything was gold. And so I'm laying there in the tanning bed, and I'm just, wheels are turning, and I create this character in about 20 minutes in the tanning bed. And I called Dustin, and I said, I told him, and I said, what do you think? What do you think? And he's like, I love it. And I said, okay, call Vince and, and tell him. And he's like, no, if you want to do it, you call Vince. I'm like, Dustin, I don't work for him. You're under contract for him. You call him.
Right.
Well, at the time, Dustin did not do well with authority. He was it was not easy for him to speak to authority. I could speak to anyone about anything, and I dealt with, from Prince to Pauper to porn star to president. I'd done their makeup because I worked on Larry King Live as well. And
no way.
Yes.
You did Larry
so I
King
was
Live.
Not
wow.
In the least bit intimidated by calling Vince. I just thought, well, dude, I don't work for him. You were
going with the chain of command.
Right. So, but anyway, when he said he wasn't going to go, I said, okay, I'll do it. I get a phone call back from Pat Patterson. Do you know who that is or no?
I do not.
So Pat Patterson was I think the first openly gay wrestler.
No way.
He was the first, was it Universal title holder? Anyway, a great wrestler, but he worked for Vince for many, many years. And he was the one that gave me the call back. And I told him my idea, and he kind of gave me the obligatory brush off. He's like, okay, well, we appreciate that idea, and thank you so much, and take care. Which I was fine with, because Dakota was like a year and a half old. I was loving being mommy. I didn't need to be back in wrestling, but it was just that I had that idea that would kind of do great for Dustin's character. Anyway, so a month or two goes by. I'm at my grandparents' home, and he calls me, and he's like, "Where are you? What are you doing?" I said, "I'm at Gran and Granny's." "Why?" And he said, "Pack your bags. They want to do your idea."
Wow.
And so, I debuted in January of '96 at the Royal Rumble. So, but the way that the reason I had Cigars with Marlena was way back in the day. I would run a bubble bath, pour a glass of wine, light a cigar, but I would never smoke in front of anyone else, because back in the day, it was not that kosher for a female to be smoking.
Women didn't smoke cigars back in the day. And that's one of the things, I already knew who you were from back in the day, but I came across you on someone else's show a few weeks ago.
Whose show, may I ask?
Oh, you know what? I don't recall the name of the show. I just was like flipping through cigar shows, and I saw you were the guest, and I was like, oh, I got to see what she says. And after watching that show, I was like, Terri is a true cigar aficionado. She's not blowing smoke up somebody's ass. She actually loves good cigars. And so that's when I was like, I got to reach out and see if she'll be a guest on our show, because I could tell right away you knew cigars, because you weren't just doing it, as a promo. You enjoyed it.
Yeah. And, I got to write off my cigar purchases for my character, thank God.
Oh, no way. No,
I no
way.
longer get to do that, but yes. But yeah, it was interesting when I said to Vince, I'm like, either I go to the ring with a glass of wine, or I go to the ring with a cigar. And I preferred the cigar because, glass of wine could break, could cause not good. But the reason I love the cigar so much is Dustin's character was androgynous. And I wanted to dress in this really old school Hollywood glamorous, dresses where trains followed you, and do you remember the actress Marlena Dietrich?
Absolutely, I do.
So I kind of that was my reason for, having that name. The other idea for a name for me was Oscar. I was like either Oscar or Marlena, but I think Marlena was so much better. But yeah, so the first month that I went to the ring, Rob, Vince would not let me light the cigars.
I read that in an article.
And I was just like, dude, that's the whole, there's so much drama.
That's like the icing on the cake. You could have any kind of cake, but when you put the icing on it, and that's what you did with the cigar.
Yeah. And so guess who it was that helped me talk Vince into letting me actually smoke cigars?
Who was that?
Pat Patterson.
No way.
Yep.
Wow.
So, but funny thing is, so Vince basically said to me, he's like, all right, God damn it. And I don't believe in saying GD because me and the big man upstairs were tight. But he's like, but just you wait and light it right before you go out. Well, it was not a year or two later, and he was on the cover of Cigar Aficionado.
I saw that, and I was like,
I'm like, wait a second.
But you know what?
Wait a second. Something is askew here. Something is wrong.
Let me just tell you this, Terri. That's why I do not value the magazine Cigar Aficionado at all. It's all smoke and mirrors.
No pun intended or pun intended.
Exactly. And the thing about it is, everybody every year wants to look at the top 25 cigars of the year. And I've got a problem with the way that it happens. And that is just an example of what they are for the cigar community. It's all smoke and mirrors. And I'm just not a big fan. But how cool would it have been first of all, to put a woman on the cover, and second of all, to put a woman on the cover that knows what the hell she's talking about when it comes to the cigar industry. Were you completely? It didn't happen. Were you completely insulted when that happened?
I was. Yeah. I was really disappointed. I was disappointed because, and I think I was more disappointed because of what he had said to me. Right. Not only did he not smoke cigars, he was like, you're stinking up the place. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that kind of sucked. But I'm at the age where my train derails all the time. Sure. I was going to tell you something regarding that. Dadgummit. I don't remember. Oh. I was going to remind you to ask me about Rakesh, Nestor Placencia, and Jesus that ran that operated Rakesh's factories in Honduras. Just remind me. There's a story there.
I can tell I would already love to hear the story because I know you're talking about Rocky Patel. You're talking about the Placencia family. So I'm already all ears.
Yes. So should we jump there?
Let's jump right in. Let's jump right in.
Okay. So I went down to Honduras a couple of times.
And how was that? I mean, was that like friendly? Was it scary? I mean, what was it like back when you went?
Okay, so when I went, I'm just gonna call him Rocky. I don't call him Rocky. I call him Rakesh. We've known each other for freaking forever. But so Rocky had a beautiful home down there, and at all times I felt pretty damn secure. Okay. However, on this particular evening, it was Nestor Sr.'s birthday. And so I'm in the bathroom getting ready, doing hair and face. And I see this movement outside of the window of the bathroom. And I look outside and I see the back of someone, of a guy. And I see the front part of the gun and the butt of the gun like this.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So I go and I'm like, Rakesh, there's somebody outside my window with a gun. He's like, Terri, there are guys all around the house with guns.
That's the security.
Like, that's how Nestor travels.
Wow.
I was like, oh shit. Okay then. So anyway, we had a lovely night. Do you know who Jesus is? I forget Jesus' last name.
Of what? From where?
Jesus used to was in control of all of Rocky's warehouses and manufacturing in Honduras.
Oh no, I don't know that name.
Okay, well anyway, he then quit and tried to start his own brand, and anyway. So I think a lot of people quit and try to start their own brands, and it goes up in smoke. Pun intended.
And everybody, I mean, if you have half an ounce of entrepreneurship in you, that's the natural progression.
Yeah, but also if you have common sense, you also know that you might not be in that league, and you should probably not do that.
But to be honest, you don't have to be in that league to be successful, because
That's
Rocky
true.
takes it to a whole nother level.
He is a freaking he's just amazing. He's amazing. No one ever from his culture has basically said, I'm going to quit my job as an attorney. Right. I'm going to learn everything I can about cigars, and I'm going to make the best cigar in the world. I'm going to make the best cigar in the world. And he just set out to do that. And he just is he's a freak.
He is
in terms of
master marketer. I mean, the guy was boots on the ground.
Oh, boots on the ground is the key right there.
Absolutely. Yep. I mean, if you're a cigar guy and you want to bring a new cigar line to market, if you're not willing to do boots on the ground, I don't care how good you are, you're not going to make it. Not today.
Yeah, and I must have said to him 100 times in our friendship, I'm so proud of you. Like, I'm so proud of you for all you've done and all you've created. But so go back to Nestor's party. So we are back at the house, and we're sitting there, and there's probably 30-ish at this point. And so Rakesh says to me, he's like, hey, Terri, choke Jesus out. So I was like, are you sure? You're sure? And so Jesus says, sure, yeah, fine. So I give him my tutorial before I ever choke someone out. The tutorial is this. I'm going to cinch in this hold, and when I do, you will have but a split second to tap. If you don't, you will be out. And so I guess it was the machismo, the testosterone in Jesus that thought, you're a 5-foot-tall female. Sure, you're going to choke me out. So I say to him, I'm like, do anything. Raise a finger, raise a hand, whatever you need to do. And the minute you do something different, I will stop. I will, undo the hold. And so, I get him ready and I say, are you ready? Yeah. I'm ready. So I cinch it in and I'm snug. I'm tight. I'm thinking, Jesus, it's taking this guy a little bit longer to go out than normal, not to go out, but to tap than normal. Right. And so all of a sudden, Rakesh is right there in the front, and I see Rakesh. He's going, stop. Oh my God, stop. I look, Jesus is like, it's foam. It's food. He's vomiting. I'm like, I just killed someone in Honduras. Oh dear God. I will go to prison in Honduras. I will never make it home.
Because he was completely out.
Well, yeah. But not only that, I've never had anyone like that had like stuff coming out of their mouth, for God's sake, and foam and food and what. And so finally, Jesus gets oxygen back in his system enough that I can like relax that I haven't killed someone. And I'm like, Jesus, like, why didn't you tap? You want to hear his answer?
Yes, I do.
His answer was, I was going to pretend to take my lighter and burn you. I'm like, dude, you don't have time to pretend to take a lighter and burn me. Like, that's why I say to you, the split second you feel yourself going out, tap.
Wow.
But yes, I thought that I had murdered Jesus in Honduras and that I was going to be in prison in Honduras. You were going to go to
jail in Honduras. Wow.
But Nestor had a birthday that he'll never forget.
So I also wanted
by the way, I love Nestor Sr. and Nestor Jr. I love them so much.
And I'm sure that it is reciprocated 100%. So I wanted to talk to you a minute, though, about what you're doing now, because you do like live Twitch streams 3 times a week. You're going to a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday schedule.
And this is the first place I'm saying it. Now, I'm not sure when this airs, but I'm saying it now. I used to be Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, but I travel so much on the weekend that I kept having to cancel shows, and or Mama has migraines, which are horrible. And if you've ever had a migraine, you don't do diddly when you have a migraine.
Right.
So yeah, I think it will be wiser for me to go to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That'll be in the center of the week. Allow me for travel, on the weekends, and not to upset that apple cart. But my name on all of my social media is the Terri Runnels. Don't get it confused with the word Reynolds, like Reynolds wrap,
right?
Like aluminum
Runnels,
foil.
Runnels.
Thank you, Rob.
You're welcome.
Thank you, babe.
So how do they find you on Twitch? Like, a lot of people may not that listen to this show,
they may not know about Twitch.
They might not know about Twitch because Twitch is actually a younger crowd that use it for the majority.
I'm 55, so we're not that young.
Right. But I mean, not as you as a creator, but a lot of the fans that use Twitch are in the younger generation. So if you're
True.
not accustomed to using Twitch, all you got to do is go to Google and search for Twitch, and bam. And then once they're on Twitch, how do they find you?
Yeah. So if you go and you create you can either create a name on there, and just, you can watch me without anyone knowing that you're watching. Like, you can just sit back and watch, or you can, if you create a name on there for free, it's all free, like, any of the social media platforms. If you want to ask me a question or say hello, hey, I saw you on Rob's show or whatever, you go to www.twitch.tv, easy.tv /the Terri Runnels.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
TerriRunnels. And yeah, and I love it when people stop by and they say to me, like, I didn't know you had a stream on Twitch, or, whatever. I love it when people stop by and say hello. All of my other, like, I have Twitter,
how did you decide to do that on Twitch?
A dear friend of mine, a Scotsman, named Bert. He used to be a pro rugby football. I forget.
Rugby, it's all the same.
Let's hope he doesn't watch this.
Yes.
Anyway, he said to me, he's like, you would do great on this platform. And so it's thanks to him that I started on the platform. And I love doing it.
And as a creator, how do you like that platform? Are you enjoying that platform?
I love it. And here's my shows are never the same. One thing I love doing is, I'm a big YouTube whore.
Hey, same here.
I just love to just go down rabbit holes. Like, one video leads me to the other, and then I turn left, and then I turn right. And then I by the end, I'm going, what in God's name did you just witness in the span of 2 hours?
Oh, and there's so much different stuff you checked out that there's tons of stuff out there.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So a lot of times, some of the things that I find along the way, I will watch with all of my guests. And then after that video, then we talk about video. And,
that's cool.
Yeah.
That is very
and the
cool.
videos can be anywhere from, I love, okay, I used to be a big UFC fan. Love you, Dana White. I still am, but I love bare knuckle fighting. Oh my Lord. Have you watched that?
I've never watched it.
Oh my God, bare knuckle fighting. I love it so much. It reminds me of when UFC started. There are still safety, precautions that are in there, but it's just so old school, and it's like, just freaking fight. It's interesting. I'm a female, but I love some good old fashioned ass busting, nose busting, face busting stuff. I just do.
So are you a fan of the MMA as well?
I am. But what I'm saying to you is, so of course, UFC is the biggest MMA culture and vehicle that there is today. I remember watching when I was pregnant with Dakota. I remember watching one of the very first UFCs. Like it was when Tank Abbott, and I forget the kid that he fought, but I remember. I mean, I am very, very pregnant, and I remember just like screaming at the TV. Right? Dustin said to me, he's like, "If you don't calm down, I'm turning it off." I'm if you don't calm down, I'm turning it off. But like, I loved it back in the day, right? So.
And you were watching it early on.
What, babe?
You were watching it early on.
Oh, dude, like UFC 1, UFC 2, UFC 3.
Wow.
Yeah,
Because, a lot of people never even knew UFC existed until MMA.
Yeah. Well, you know what MMA stands for? Mixed martial arts.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a plethora of different things that come into the MMA umbrella. But the brand that made MMA famous is UFC.
Now, do you have a favorite MMA fighter?
it kind of evolves. Back in the day, like I'll tell you who I hated more than loved back in the day, and I hated Tank. And then, ironically enough, Tank came to work for us.
Oh, wow.
Interestingly enough. Yeah, but those, the thing about that was they weren't characters that were made up. That was the guy.
Right.
What you saw was the guy.
Yeah.
But Chuck Liddell, always loved him. Good old country boy that was like, just down to fight. The Diaz brothers, you love to hate them, and to be honest with you, I've kind of segued, like I told you, from UFC to bare knuckles. I think it is. Is it bare knuckle or bare knuckles? I don't remember.
I do not know, but I'm going to have to Google that after we're done here.
It's growing by leaps and bounds. It's great. When you watch it, you'll go, yeah, this does remind me of UFC before all of the, it became so corporate and so,
right.
Yeah.
So were you, and that's a big thing because you were in the system or in the production before it became so corporate. And just like anything, usually that's the best time to be in it is before it goes corporate.
Right. Because then
that's when it was fun.
Then all the suits come in and say, you can't do this. You can't do that. You can't say this. You can't say that. Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you evolve into now doing a Twitch channel? Like what do you do on the Twitch show? Y'all watch movies together?
It's not. It's not movies. It's like, it can be a 2-minute thing that I find hilarious or like deeply disturbing, or it could be a 30-minute video that is funny or that's crazy or that's like weird or whatever. But it's not like.
And then y'all hang out and talk about it?
Yeah. So, but here's the deal. Some nights there's no videos whatsoever. It's just like they ask me every question they want to ask me.
Oh, wow.
And we just we shoot the shit basically, and we talk and we laugh and, yeah. And it's great because, those people that come back night after night, I get to know their names or the names that they give themselves on Twitch. And, it honestly, my Twitch stream has become a family, and I love it how now when the stream starts, it's like everyone's saying hello to everyone else. Like, oh, hey, so-and-so, oh, hey. Like, it's like this big reunion, even though it's like night after night, but everyone's saying hello to everyone because they remember each other and they're like, oh yeah. So I love it. I love it because it's the closest I can get to fans, and they can be anywhere in the world. They can be in Timbuktu, in Austria, in Australia, in Korea, in,
anywhere,
wherever.
So,
and they can be a part of my stream, which I love.
And have you ever been on Discord?
Interesting you say that. So my friend Bert from Scotland, who got me started on Twitch, actually got me started on Discord first. And then he said, stuff's happening with Discord. We're going to change and go over to Twitch. So about, I don't know, like a year and a half ago, I think I left Discord and went to Twitch.
Okay. Well, I was going to say.
No, I lie. It was not Discord. It was D-Live. D-Live. Forgive me.
I don't know what D-Live is.
Well, it's okay. They both start with D, and I just,
gotcha.
Yeah. So forgive me. I was never broadcasting on Discord.
So
I am on Discord, but yes.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm going to send you an invite. We would love you to join Cigar Talk's Discord server. And sometime when you're just out of YouTube videos to watch, come by and say hi, because these guys would love to talk to you if you ever have the opportunity.
I would love to do that. Let me ask you a little bit about your show.
Yes.
Because I've done some due diligence, but so does your show only air on YouTube or no?
No.
Tell me about it.
Actually, our show is 90% podcast, which is audio only, and about 10% on YouTube. And so all of our shows are done for both. But our primary is like iTunes or Spotify or Google Podcast or those type of platforms.
Got you.
And we have a Cigar Talk Discord where a lot of our guys hang out and shoot the breeze, show pictures of what they're smoking, what they're cooking, what guns they're shooting. I mean, it's just it's a great community. And I got to tell you this, I have a guy that's in our Discord that's a supporter of Cigar Talk, and he goes by Jax Rocks, and he's a huge fan of yours. And when I told him that you were going to be on the show, he told me that he has a WWE playing card with you on it.
There's many cards with me on it, but let me say to you, Jax Rocks, I love you, and thank you for being such a fan. And stop by my Twitch stream and let me know it's you, Jax Rocks.
He definitely will. And I promise you, not only is he a fan of what you did, he's also the announcer at the local wrestling shows.
Wow. So he's really into it.
He's really into it.
That's
and he
great.
does an amazing job. I mean, he shows up with like a coat and tie on, and he's just like this strong presence guy that I love watching when he does what he does.
Oh, that's really cool. Well, I'm glad you told me that. So I expect to see you, Jax Rocks, and hang out with me on my Twitch stream. I used to do a podcast. And it's
a lot of work.
It is. It's a lot of work, but I just feel like it's so much more fun for the fans to be able to see as well as hear. And so that's why I went from podcast to doing, the streams that I do, because
there's a lot more interaction. Fun to me. There's more interaction.
Yeah, absolutely. And then they can, laugh because when I'm doing stream, like we can tell everyone now, earlier we tried to do this and the proverbial caca was hitting the fan audibly and we couldn't do it when we wanted to do it. Damn it. And so it's like, I love, because everything I do is live. I love it when just life happens and you have to either chuckle, laugh, or cry. And but I would hope that I also have a YouTube channel. It's also the Terri Runnels. But I would love for your peeps to become my peeps and my peeps to become your peeps.
Hey, and you know what we will do is on the podcast and the Cigar Talk YouTube channel, down in the show notes, we will have a link to your website or your YouTube channel, and we will have a link to your Twitch account.
Perfect.
So that people can find you.
Awesome. I love that. And there are so many more things that I could, we could laugh about and talk about, but can we do another show sometime?
Oh, I would love to have you back, Terri. Absolutely.
Wonderful. Well, I feel as though I've been in studio with you. However, I would love to go to Abilene and actually be in studio with you.
You know what? You let me know when you want to make that happen, and we will open the doors.
Can we do it?
24/7 for you, dear.
Awesome.
And we have this amazing cigar shop right here in Abilene. We'll take the studio to the shop.
Is it Leaf?
It is the Leaf.
The Leaf.
Yes.
I've heard about the Leaf.
We would love to have you there, and we'll set up the studio in the Leaf and do a show right there in the Leaf.
That will be perfect. I will bring lots of 8x10s. We can do an autograph signing.
That would be awesome.
We can do a cigar signing, the whole nine.
We would love to have you there. And, I wanted to pay tribute to you as well, because you've been so successful in everything that you've done, because you worked your ass off and you made it through the tribulations of failure. You learned from that and you just kept going. You would be like at the top of my list of entrepreneurs that I completely appreciate.
Thank you so much. I want to say one thing before we go. You were talking a minute ago about shooting guns. I need to say this because this bothers me greatly. So if there's someone that doesn't know me, like I'm sitting on an airplane and inevitably someone will say, so what do you do? And if I ever tell them, I feel like I have to give them this caveat of, oh, but if you Google me, you're going to see this picture. So I have never been in trouble, but do I have time to tell a quick story?
We're no time frame here. Your time is our time.
All right. Last story I'll tell. Okay. So,
I know where this is going, and I'm excited for you to tell this story.
I never take morning flights. I hate them unless it's an emergency, or in this case, I was flying to do a charity event for someone who needed a liver transplant that was actually a wrestler that is near and dear to my heart, right? So it just so happened that I had to get an early morning flight in order to make it to this appearance. So I was like, for Sam, I'll do anything, screw it. So if I have an early morning flight, I do not sleep the night before, which is another reason that I hate morning flights.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah. So prior to this, I had not slept for 2 nights straight. Maybe I'd gotten 3 hours a night, 2 hours a night, whatever. I was exhausted, totally exhausted. I get to the airport. I sleep beautifully on planes, Rob. I can get on a plane and I love sleeping on planes. So as I'm going through TSA, all I can think about is, God, just get me onto the plane and let me just sleep. And so there's hardly anyone there in the airport. It's like 6 a.m., 5:30, 6 in the morning. And so I've walked through the little thing you walk through, and I'm on the other side and I'm waiting, and I'm like, oh, God, please, what's taking so long? So now I'm thinking, what's taking so long? So I look back, like there's nobody in line. What's taking so long? And so I see 2 people at the monitor, 3, 4, 5. There's 8 people standing at the monitor. When it finally hits me, holy sweet Jesus, I forgot and left my freaking 9mm in the carry-on I have.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so, the minute I counted the people, it hit me. I was like, oh my God. And I started telling them it's in this pocket I was telling them exactly where it was. Like it hit me. Right. And so, I was mortified, and the guy's like, he's like, Terri, let me see if I can keep from arresting you. Just hold on a minute. Like the guy knew who I was, and he looked at me, and when he looked at me and had that face, he's like,
gotta do what I gotta do.
I started crying. Like I was just like, so I get transported. That was at the airport. I get transported to the main jail, I guess, close to there. I've never been in trouble in my life, mind you. I'm around all these people that are sitting there. At least women are like sitting there, like picking scabs, and like it's just like
you're in jail.
It's like, which one of these things is not like the other from Sesame Street, right? And so I'm trying to come to grips with the fact that I have been arrested. I am now in the Tampa jail. Holy Mother of God. And so I said, who's the top dog here? Who's in charge? And I forget what the corporal's name is right now. I shouldn't admit that. But anyway, I just said to him, I said, sir, I said, the only thing I know about jail is what I've seen on TV. So I don't know what happens, but I really, I was flying up for a charity event, and I was advertised, and I really need to get there. If there's any way that we can make I don't know if we can expedite this or not, but whatever you can do, I'm so appreciative of. Not to say, take off the charges, but just help me hurry up so I can try to get a flight out. So he was very kind and gracious. He would come over, and I'm in this, I was never in a cell. I was in this big room where everyone was just around everyone. Right. So he would come over and intermittently and just say, hey, Terri, right now, this is what's happening. Okay. This is happening next. Okay. So at a certain point, I think it was about, I don't know, like 11 or 12, 11 a.m. or 12 noon. He comes over and he squats down beside me and he said, "You're not going to like what I'm about to tell you." And because, again, Rob, the only thing I know about jail is what I've seen on TV, I was like, the first thought was, I'm going to have to spend the night in jail in a cell. Like, oh, dear God. That was my thought. And I'm like, what? Like, what's going on? He said, TMZ already has your mugshot.
No
They already have a
way.
picture of your gun, your bullets. They're making a big deal about the fact that they're hollow points, that you had one in the chamber. And I'm like, well, dude, when I go to use my gun, I ain't loading it.
Right. I got to be
I'm
ready.
using it.
Right.
So one's always in the chamber, right? But I was like, I'm not even out of jail. And that shit's all over the place, right? And then I get home. Oh, by the way, so when I'm going back to the airport to get my belongings, I'm trying to get a flight. God love this Delta agent. She tried every single airport. It was Allentown, Pennsylvania that I was going to. So it's not like it's a big hub at all.
There's not 40 flights in and out.
No, and she's trying everything to get me there. And she's like, well, can you fly into this airport? So we tried everything. The best she could do was getting me in at like 10 at night. Well, it's too late. The show's almost over at that point. So I ended up getting my stuff and going home. But I was so upset by the fact that, TMZ had said, all this stuff. I make a video and I am wiped out, tired. And this is what I say, it's the truth, but I wish I wouldn't have said it. I had taken my gun with me up to my mom's and she had an armadillo problem, which she did. And it's like one armadillo, no big deal. But, when you have 10 armadillos and they ruin the crops and they ruin the garden and they ruin everything, you don't want armadillos anymore.
No, and they're nothing but hard-shelled rats.
So don't tell Peter that, by God. So anyway, people have mocked and made fun of me so much about you kill armadillos. I love armadillos, but not when they do that to my mom. But anyway, yeah, it's funny that this video I say, I brought my gun to shoot the armadillos, and yeah.
And did like PETA come against you when you said that? I mean,
I don't think PETA did, but so many other people. Oh, and I had one lady, her husband was Special Forces, right? And she's like, if you don't know where your gun is, you shouldn't own a gun. And, I thought, there's some validity to that. There's absolutely some validity to that. But, I was going on 3 days of no sleep.
No sleep.
And I ain't Special Forces, lady.
Right.
I'm sorry.
You're a citizen
I'm just little old me
that wants to protect yourself.
Right. And if somebody harms me or wants to harm me, I don't mind to empty a magazine into them. I'm sorry, I just don't.
And I'm right there. I'm right there with you. So,
but yeah.
So now before we go, I also want to take a minute to talk about how involved you've been over your entire career with charities.
Thank you so much.
Because I saw that you were like with the Children's Miracle Network. You were with Make-A-Wish. The Boys and Girls Club. I mean, I can see a pattern there where you love to help people.
Honestly, that's the best part of my career ever, is being able to help. I've given so many kids that were terminal my cell phone number and told their parents, call me 24/7. I don't care if they need me, if it will help them, call me. And I've had to, be a part of those kids passing from this earth, and it was god awful. And I'm still, close with all of their parents. But there are some charities that if you are out there and if you don't know what charity to give to, or if, I really firmly believe in $1. If we all did $1, that's amazing, right?
Yes.
So even if you can only do $1, these are some charities that I would highly recommend that you give to. Ronald McDonald House, St. Jude, Boys and Girls Club. What are some of my other faves? those are my favorite children's. And the thing about St. Jude's and about Ronald McDonald House is the parents, the families. With Ronald McDonald House, they're not paying for the medical expenses, but they're paying for the family, the siblings, everyone to stay there, to eat there. They pay nothing.
And that's a huge part.
Oh my
because
God.
if you have someone in the hospital, the expense of being there is tremendous. And a lot of people don't think about that. But I mean, I know families that have had terminally ill children. And I mean, the expense they spend to stay at hotels and to feed the family is astronomical.
Yeah, or they end up having to do, okay, only the mom can go or only the dad can go, but the siblings can't go, and we can only stay for this long, and then we have to go back home and, try to come back. And so Ronald McDonald House, takes care of all of that for the parents and the siblings. St. Jude takes care of everything for the child's medical expenses. So all of that's taken care of. So literally, if you are sitting there going, I want to give, I want to donate, but I don't know really who's reputable, who to give to, what to give to.
Hey, Terry, you know what I want to say? You know what? I think we should do a show that is all about the charity that you want to support, and just do that whole thing that's a charity support show.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Except I would want to do like at least 2 instead of just 1.
Absolutely.
We do 2.
If you're down, I'm down.
Okay. I love it.
I think that would be a great thing, because I know so many people, and you know this, the cigar community is a very caring community.
It is.
And so, we didn't even get there. How did you start smoking cigars in the very beginning? What made you want to smoke a cigar?
Bubble bath, glass of wine.
That was
I don't
it.
know.
You just said, I want to smoke a cigar and relax.
Okay, here's a funny story for you. So the first time I ever smoked was when I was probably 12. And I was at both of my grandfathers smoked.
Did they smoke cigars?
Cigarettes.
Okay.
So I'm at my paternal grandfather's home, and it's like your grandfather does it, so surely it can't be that bad because you love your grandfather
and you look up to your grandfather.
He does no wrong.
Right.
So I would find cigarettes in his ashtray that had just a little bit on them, right? I would take them into the guest room, and the screen, the screen of the window, I poked a pencil through it at the bottom right. Poked a pencil through it at the bottom right, and so I would like take a few tokes, off the cigarette, and then I would push it through that little hole that I made. Well, my mother comes to me one day and she's like, honey, that good Southern draw, honey, have you been smoking cigarettes?
Right. And
I was like, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. Not me. No, ma'am. She goes, oh, really? Okay. All right. She said, if you don't mind, come with me for a second. I was like, okay. Still, I'm still clueless.
Right.
She walks me outside and around to the outside of the window, and there's this
pile. Yes.
And I'm just like, oh man, how dumb I am at 12. What the hell's wrong with me? Anyway, so that was that. I never smoked cigarettes, right? But there was some, I don't know, they just looked like they would be delicious. And so, yeah, I was probably like 22 when I started smoking cigars.
Wow, way before me. So and like I said at the beginning of the show, when I saw the interview of you on another show, I knew that you knew your business when it came to cigars, and I was like, yeah, I want to get her on the show, and we want to say thank you so much for being so gracious to be our guest on the show.
My pleasure. This has been awesome.
This has been awesome. And you know what? I got Bryant, come on over here, brother. My co-host.
Wait, we have someone else in the studio?
My co-host just walked in the studio, and
hi, I was just talking about you earlier. Hi, Brian.
Terry was talking about you earlier, and so he said, "What did I do now?" So
you just were amazing. That's all.
You know, I have the best co-host of any talk show, and we are so blessed to have him. But I'm serious. We would love to do something for charity with you. Let's make that happen. And
let's do it.
Terry, if you ever need anything at all from us, you got my number. Reach out anytime. We're more than happy to help you in any way that we can.
Thank you so much. This has been awesome. I've loved it. And thank you for your patience with all the audible crapola.
We're very patient people. We don't get in a hurry about anything. If you ever come to Texas, you'll know we're laid back. We don't get in a hurry.
Dude, I love Texas. And I look forward to seeing all of your fans on my Twitch, and I hope they will say hello.
Yes, and we will have a link down in the show notes, guys. So if you want to go check out Terry's Twitch or her YouTube channel, just look down the show notes and you click on the link, and it'll take you straight over there. Again, Terry, thank you so much, and we can't wait to do this again with you.
Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Terry. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the interview with Terri. We were excited to get her on the show, and she delivers because she's just real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to be from that small town, like that most people never get out of, and to do everything that she did, it was like that girl was an entrepreneur or is an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And I mean, I love seeing people do what she's done.
Most definitely.
And I mean, it's like a lot of paths are not what you're expecting.
Mm-hmm.
And her story is a perfect example of making success out of the
chaos.
Off the beaten path. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, we want to say thank you to her for coming on.
Most definitely.
Thank you, Terri. And we look forward to doing some more content with her. And so anyway, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. So we're going to shift gears here, and we're going to play a game.
I don't trust you, man.
So the name of the game is Stump the Chump. And so here's how we're going to do. Okay. I am going to give you a word, and the word is from the cigar glossary terms.
Oh, man.
And so if you get one right, you score a point. If you get one wrong, you have to get on your... No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to go down that road.
This game won't be played.
So no, if you get it wrong, it's a negative point.
Okay.
We're going to ask, and I'm going to say we're going to do 20. If you get 10 right, I'm going to buy you a Padron 1926.
Well, I won't get that.
You don't think you can get 10 right?
Bruh. I just love smoking. I'm not a researcher into cigars like that.
Yeah, but you might be able to, like...
I'm not Sam.
I understand, but I'm saying that, like, when you hear the words, you might be able to think of, like, the origin and the meaning of that originating concept and come up with
you
what...
don't even sound right saying all of that. Come on,
I'm
dude.
just making shit
I know.
up.
You going on. You might need to go sit in Ed's class.
I thought you were going to say his lap.
Oh, God. See, that's why I don't trust this. That's why I don't trust this, man. Let's go. Come on. I'm ready.
Now, the first one is going to be, I consider to be like an easy pitch. I expect you to hit this one. Cuban sandwich.
A Cuban sandwich that has to deal with a cigar?
Yeah.
I've never eaten a Cuban sandwich. I don't know anything about Cuban sandwiches.
Okay, so you got that one wrong.
I know.
Because a Cuban sandwich is a cigar that has like mixed fillers. And like when you see a Cuban sandwich, like some of the really cheap cigars are, they like put all the scraps in that cigar, and that's why they call it a Cuban sandwich. What's the problem?
Next.
All right. Well, it's going to take
Cuban sandwich?
Yes.
Come on.
Well, I thought you were going to say something while I
There's
looked
nothing
through
to say.
the next one.
There's nothing to say. He came up with, you thought this game up, didn't you?
No. Oh, yeah, I did think it's a game.
See what I'm saying?
So the next one
I didn't go to school in Lubbock.
is dipping.
The only thing I know about dipping is most time people dip their cigars into whiskeys, cognacs, things
Ding,
like
ding,
that.
ding, ding, ding. You got
Right.
one.
Okay, all right.
Look at you. See? I knew you would get some of these.
That was better than Cuban sandwich.
But a lot of people know that term.
Yeah, well, they can. I don't.
I know. I'm just saying. So anyway, I'm impressed. You got that one. I didn't really. If you would have said that to me, maybe after I thought
No.
about it, but I
Okay.
would never do that.
Okay.
I wouldn't say never. Never
You d-
say never.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if you did it and you said it was wonderful, then
You-
I would probably give it a try.
No, you wouldn't. Because every time I say something, you're like, I'm not going to do it. Brian said he liked it. I'm not going to do it.
Well, mostly.
Yeah, thank you. So,
But on that one,
stop telling. Oh, you're being you. You're telling
Yeah.
a lie. Okay. Okay. Next.
all right. Are you ready for the next one?
Yes, sir.
Double Corona.
That's a blend. But as far as that, I wouldn't know. What are you looking for with a double Corona?
The process of pulling air through the draw. On the wrong one.
See, you don't even know what how you going to...
I've had a lot of bourbon. You've had none.
Please bring
You've had
Alex.
none.
Please bring Alex Trebek back.
Hey, I was.
Man, I even take Merv Griffin right now.
You're like 200, Alex, for what is draw?
What is draw? Dude,
I was reading draw.
I'm done.
So double Corona. Yes, you are correct. Ding, ding, ding.
Oh my goodness.
A cigar size typically that measures 7.5 inches with a ring gauge between 49 and 52.
Which is
And
right
I'm a
around
fan
our
of
ring
those.
gauge,
I mean,
yeah.
that's what the medallia is.
Yep.
And so
This dude, he went to the wrong one. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. Like, you're wrong.
I was like, when I started.
First of all, put the bourbon down.
Hey, you know what's funny?
What's that?
Is when I was reading the wrong definition, I was like, wow, that's not what I thought it was.
And you came up with this.
I was like,
I wrote that down.
I thought that was a Vitola. So
Come on, bro.
Stump the Chump. Okay. Face.
Facings. For me, that's what I'm getting, facings. You go into a humidor and they have the multiple facings, but evidently that's wrong because you said face.
What is the multiple facings? I mean, what is it that you're looking for? When you go looking, you say, oh, there's lots of facings.
Yeah, the Viatolas. I'm looking for the Coronas, the Habaneros. I'm looking for all whatever they have.
I thought you were going to get it right in the beginning.
So I'm supposed to be looking for the band.
Boom. Boom. See, we already get Vic over here to play because he ain't no chump.
That's the face, the band.
So
Okay.
the face is, it says the front of the cigar or the side that shows the cigar's band. That's the face.
Lord, let this in. How long do we have, Larry?
13.
God. You trying to find one?
No, I'm trying to see if I can pronounce this one.
Oh, Lord.
So it's like, we'll skip that
Do
one.
we need the Lubbochian dictionary?
Here we go. Flag tip.
Nah, I definitely don't know anything about that one.
That's it?
Yeah,
Nope,
I'm not
even
even
gonna
going to
attempt.
guess. No, I'm not.
You're not
going to
try to make some bullshit up?
No, that's not me. That's you.
Because I could convince you of what it's not.
We know.
And you'd want to buy it.
I'd sit back and be like, nah, this is a used car salesman.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Where's it at? What was the word? Flag
Flag tip,
There
yeah.
it is. There it is. So instead of finishing a cigar with the traditional cap, a roller can simply extend the wrapper leaf in a twist off The more common name for that is a pigtail.
Yeah. Pigtail, I know. If you said pigtail, I knew exactly what you were talking about.
Yeah. So you got
Flag
that.
tip.
So,
I never would have known.
Are you 2 for 2 or 1 for 3?
I'm 2 and 2.
You're 1 and 3.
I'm 2 and 2.
You're 2 and 2.
Yes, sir.
Did you get that? One?
Yeah, no, I didn't get that one. Somebody keep score because he can't do these two things at once.
you don't want me to ask questions and keep score.
I know. I'm finding out.
So, flag tip you did not get.
No,
but you're 2 and 2.
Yes.
Is that true, Vic?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, Vic says yes.
We'll let him keep the score.
Okay, this is going to be an easy one. If you get this one wrong, we're bringing Colton back.
Okay.
The foot.
We know that's the end of where you light.
Boom. Boom.
I mean, we know what the foot is, but flag tip, you said pigtail, I'd have got it.
All right. So now you're 3 and 2.
Yes.
Wow. You're doing better than I thought you
So,
would.
Colton, you stay at the leaf.
Front.
He said just like the Cowboys. I'm shutting up. I'm leaving it alone.
Front mark.
Front mark.
Front mark.
So you're talking about something with the front of it. So I'm guessing. Oh God, front mark.
Like that. That's a tough one. I know that's tough.
Front mark. A mark in the front of the stick.
You know what? I'm going to give you partial credit.
Because I said one word in there somewhere.
Well, you're on the front of the stick, and you're putting something. The name of the cigar's exact size or shape is called the front mark because it's commonly displayed on the front.
That's a label. I was going to say another adjective before that, but that's a label.
You know what? I'm even going to give you full credit for that.
That's a label.
Because you actually, in a roundabout way, got it.
Roundabout.
Yeah. So now you're 4 and 2.
Oh shoot!
I'm like, wow.
I'm like the 49ers now.
So here's another one. Gum.
What they use to seal it.
Damn! I give you another one. The
5 and 2.
The 5 and 2, but the actual definition, which is the same as what you said, but a little more information, is a tasteless, odorless substance used to apply the head of the wrapper.
Forgot what it was again.
No.
What was I reading?
Hey, you know I'm dyslexic. So, head of the wrapper leaf around the bunch of a handmade cigar.
Gotcha.
So it's what they use to stick the wrapper to the binder, basically.
The adhesive.
Yeah, adhesive. Did you get that one?
5 and 2.
Okay. Half wheel.
Well, we know it's a get reviews from a half
No. That's the name of a show.
Yeah, I know.
Man, I forgive myself because that's how I get through life. But I love those guys over at Half Wheel. They do a great job.
And that's the only thing that's coming to my mind now. I'm stuck. When you said, I was like, the show, the review. I'm like, but that's not what you're looking for.
No. So you don't know.
The way they wrote it?
No. This is not multiple choice.
I'm done.
I know, but
I'm done.
You're giving your answers as in
I'm
the form
done.
of a question.
I'm done.
Okay. Half Wheel is 50 cigars in a bundle called a half wheel. And usually, traditionally, they're tied in a ribbon.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I did
totally
I did know that, but I would probably have not been able to remember.
I was stuck on the show. 5 and 3.
Hot.
Oh,
Hot.
Spicy. Or you hotboxed it. Those are two I can think of.
I'm going to say no go for you on that one else as well. It's hot is cigars that are rolled too loosely or are under-filled burn hot. So, like, have you ever mashed a cigar and it just squishes? When it gets to that section, it, like, really comes alive heat-wise.
Didn't I just say it was burning hot?
Yeah, but
Yeah, but is not a word.
I'm not buying you a cigar.
Yeah, but is not a word.
All right, 6 and 2.
6 and 3.
Oh, 6 and 3.
3.
I gotta find a hard one. I
Yeah.
didn't think that you would get that one. Oh, all right, here we go. Lance.
I know what a lance is, so I'm taking as it in a like a lancero, a viotola.
And Alex says,
Okay.
So another name for a cigar piercer or cutter.
That's the.
But you,
We don't even use that name, so I understand. I'm good because
Okay.
I've never used that name.
I thought you were going to get that one right when you started with a lancer.
Yeah.
I thought that's where you were going.
But then I hit lancero in my mind, and
Right.
that's where I ran with it.
And
So,
that's the next word on the list, but we're not doing that.
you're not gonna give me. What is this? Is 5-4 or 5-5? No, you're 6. 6 and 4. Yeah.
6 and 4? Is that where we're at? Okay.
Or 6 and 5. Is it 6 and 4 or 6 and 5?
Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Lathe.
That's what I know. A lathe is something you put on. It's I can't think of the actual word because you use a lathe and other things. It's like
You look like you should be skating.
yeah, but
back
I
in
can't,
1970.
I can't get what's in my mind in words that will define it, will describe it perfectly. So I'm gonna let it go
You were wrong.
on the cigar part, but on the lathe part,
Right. I
yeah.
mean, we know what a lathe
Yeah.
is, but because the wood is rounded like it had been on a lathe, that's the poles up in the ceiling where they dry the tobacco leaves.
Gotcha.
That's what they hang from.
Okay.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, 'cause I never knew that.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
All right, so let's see.
That was a hard one.
Are you ready for this one? This is a kind of a tough one. Lector.
Nope. Done. That sounds like Lex Luthor's son.
I thought that's where you would go. No, it's not a person that's a superhero. It's a person in the cigar factory who reads to the cigar rollers while they make cigars.
So there has to have somebody read to them?
That's what they used to do. Like the guy would sit up at the front while everybody in there was rolling cigars, and he would read all the newspapers. So like, you know, I mean, you're not just sitting there rolling all day. You're actually listening to a dude. I mean, it makes time go by faster.
Okay, where
you
is
learn a lot of information.
What is the root word in lector? How did they get newspaper reader out of lector?
I don't think it was from newspaper.
No, I'm just talking about reader. Where do you get reader out of lector?
So I want to say
Here we
the
go.
Latin
Here
term.
we go.
No.
Here
For
we
real.
go.
For real. The Latin term lect comes from the word dialect. Actually, dialect came from lect. And so even though it's not a reader, it comes from human audio voices. Are you Googling that?
You know I am, because I'm not trying to listen to what you're saying.
So for you people at home, that is 100% legit.
It says a distinct variety of language.
Exactly, which comes
As a
from the Latin
standard.
term lect, which in later.
This 6 and 6 next. Because we're not gonna sit here and listen to this. Now I can see where it comes from. That's where lecture comes from.
Yeah,
Lect.
lect.
But that's
It's
speaking.
a human audio. I said human
That's-
audio.
You said reading.
No, but
You said reader.
I never
Read.
said reader.
You said-
I never said reader.
Rewind it.
No.
You said the man was sitting up there reading.
Yeah, he was. But I'm just saying the word lector comes from lect.
Can I get a blue
No, you're done.
air freshener?
Are you ready? You ready?
Yeah.
Nosing.
I know what I want to say, but we try to stay corporate friendly right now. Nope. Nosing.
Nothing.
Nothing.
You're not even going to give it a
Nope.
shot.
I don't do that.
It's the proper term of retrohaling. Pushing cigar smoke through your nose. Nosing produces added layers of complexity in your perception from a premium cigar.
I can get that. I can get that from there.
I thought maybe you might reach and go that way,
No.
but apparently there's a little more quit in you than I thought.
I just don't BS.
Partido.
Next.
A region in Cuba.
It's 8-6 now.
A region in Cuba where premium tobacco is grown.
Okay. Next. I'm not even going there.
Olor.
9-6.
Olor is a tobacco variety grown in Dominican Republic and predominantly used as a binder and filler. Olar is large in size of the leaves.
Okay. Next.
All right.
What is it? 9-6?
Perfecto.
That's a Vitola.
Okay. Bingo. You have any Devel?
9 and 7.
Do you have any
DeVales.
Do you have any characteristics
No.
of that Vitola?
No.
I mean, when I say perfecto, you don't want to say what kind of Vitola that is? Okay,
It's
I'll
the
read
Perfecto.
it. You did get it right. It is a cigar Vitola that tapers at both ends, like this.
I understand. I know what that is.
All
but
right.
I didn't think that's what you were looking for, so I wasn't going to keep going with that.
All right, here's another one that I think you should know. Pilon.
Pilon. That now I knew of a historic person named Pilon, but has nothing to do with this. So another region somewhere?
No.
Okay. What's a Pilon?
So whenever they bring all the tobacco leaves in, they put them in pilons. And during the fermentation process, tobacco leaves are arranged in these pilons, also called bulks or burrows or trojes. And
10
takes
and 7.
place, the tobacco is cured in a curing barn for
Come on, give me the
roughly
last 3, man.
45
Let's go.
days. Wasn't that 10?
No, that's 10 and 7.
Right. So
You
we're
said
done.
20.
Yeah, if you needed them, but you don't need them, you already lost.
How? 3 more is 10 and 10. What?
Oh,
That's that Lubbock math.
So
My friend has a problem with arithmetic here.
if you tie, is that going to be counted as a win?
It's not a loss. The stump has been chumped. I like that. I like that. But the words you coming up with, I'm not going to get 10 and 10. I don't think it's going to come out that way.
All right. Here we go. I want to give you the.
Who ever heard of Pilon, man?
Well, I know. I think most.
And both of them over 60.
I think most. I mean, I've interviewed so many people that talk about the.
You do.
Yeah.
I don't interview.
I know.
People I interviewed went to jail and they said nothing about Pilones.
All right. So this is. I'm going to slap you with another one.
I can believe it.
San Andreas.
That's that's not Mexico. Is it Mexico? It's a region that has a leaf that is a part of a blend. The San Andreas Cigars.
Let me see if you got that one right.
No, I can't remember where is San Andreas in Mexico?
A type of wrapper leaf named after the region in Mexico where it's grown, sometimes called
10 and
the
8.
San Andreas Negro, cut often dark
Wait a
in
minute.
color.
What do you say? The San Andreas what?
I mean,
San Andreas what? Yeah, show me that.
I'm pretty sure it says Negro.
Okay, you safe.
I mean, if I was in Lubbock, it might not have sounded like Negro. But anyway, I'm going to give you credit for that.
Hell,
but
you
it's
have to. I got
often
it right.
a dark in color, and it exhibits an oily, dire texture, and the San Andreas wrappers appears and it's prized, rich, spicy, and also has a sweetness to it.
Yes.
I love San Andreas.
Me too.
So, good job. All right, you ready for the next one?
Yes. He's looking for a hard one, too. Look at him.
You know what?
Manistephiles.
Everyone on here, I think that you're going to know.
I pray.
Skip that one. I can't pronounce that one. Short filler.
We need another host in this game.
Dude, I'm like poised to take over. Was that show? You know, with Alex Trebek.
Oh, the Jeopardy.
Yeah, Jeopardy people, if you're paying attention, I would make the show so much more fun.
They don't have bourbon. Now, you can smoke cigars, but
They'd be like, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're saying.
who is this? Who hired this dude? It's a filler.
Yeah, you got it. Well, I mean, what about it?
It's a filler.
What about it being a filler?
It's not the long filler.
All right, I'm gonna make.
It's not the long filler.
I'll let you slide in on that one.
10 and 9.
All right.
We have a chance.
All right.
No, 9 and 10.
All right, you
I'm
ready?
Losing at this.
Are you
moment.
9 and 10?
Yeah, I'm losing at this moment.
I thought he was 8.
No, he got the last one.
Wow, I'm gonna have to find a good one now.
Here we go. And he ain't even gonna pronounce it right. He gonna find one.
No,
of the words.
no. I can't bring. I cannot. If I tried, maybe I cannot mispronounce this word.
I hope not.
Ready? Suckers.
Your lips. Your lips.
Nope. You lose. Suckers. Tobacco plants can produce unwanted shoots called suckers. Workers must remove these shoots from the plant of tobacco to preserve the nutrients of the plant.
Now, did you know what suckers were?
I was thinking of Larry, but I'm going to say that.
Wow.
I didn't want to go there, but you made me do it.
Wow. 11 and 9.
11 and 9.
Yeah.
You were close.
Yeah, until you pulled out suckers.
But it reading through this list made me go, I don't know near as much as I thought I knew. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I know what you mean.
Because I know there's guys out there that knew every one of those, plus all of them. And this list is
and
like,
I say hooray to them.
when I printed
do.
out this list, it's 29 pages.
Yeah, I'm looking at you just going through pages.
Yeah.
I'm like, is that many glossary
Dude,
words dealing with cigars?
And I'm going to give credit because Larry Denton is the one who brought that to my attention.
Sucker.
So I would have got that one right.
Yeah. Dead on.
So, hey, before we go, I want to talk about McAuliffe Cigars.
Yes.
If you guys haven't signed up to be an ambassador, make sure you do. It's in the show notes. If you haven't tried their line, they have something for everyone. I promise you. To me, it's worth going through the entire line.
Yes, it is.
Because when I went through their entire line, you know what I found?
What's that?
I found 3 go-tos that I smoke daily.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So if you try 1 or 2, you might be like, oh, I really like this one. But if you smoke the entire line,
you'll find more. Yeah.
And a go-to cigar is like, to me, the holy grail.
Yeah.
Because, I want to find those individual sticks that are special, but having a cigar that I can go to day in and day out and be exactly what I want, that knocks it out of the park for me.
Most definitely.
And then also, let's talk about Case Elegance. First of all, you're wearing the hat, the Claro. Put that over there, Larry, so people can see. But anyway, they make badass humidors.
Humidors, accessories.
I have one. You have one. Larry has the travel humidor.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you guys how badass the travel humidor is. We're going to show it to you. Larry, there's Larry. So we've showed that before on the show, but that's not the same one.
Nope.
Because Larry, who was gifted this travel humidor
the last travel.
It got stolen. Larry had some assholes break into his truck and stole his travel humidor.
Yes, they did.
And somebody even gifted Larry another one, a different one.
Yeah.
Larry still went online
and got it
and bought it again
because
it's that badass.
Yes, it is.
The leather that they use is supple. It's pristine. It is straight from heaven.
Pigs in heaven.
I mean, Jacob.
Oh goodness!
Killed a pig. No,
climbed
or
down,
a cow.
He climbed down the ladder and
sent it down. Claro has exclusivity on that pig.
You destroyed it.
I destroy it? All right. So you get the idea.
Yeah,
it's badass leather.
Yeah.
It's badass leather. Anyway, they are coming out with let me ask you, do you love your military footlocker humidor?
Yes.
Have you seen the new one?
Is there a new one?
There is the exact same military footlocker styled humidor, and it's done in a flat black.
I'll have to.
Dude, wait a minute. It's a very limited edition.
So I need to do it quickly.
They have only made 300 of these.
Yes, I need to do it quickly.
And, dude, I saw a picture of it, and I was like,
we need a
damn.
couch. We need a couch, but we can sit in the chairs for a little bit
Right.
longer.
So I'm telling you right now, that black military-style footlocker humidor and all
flat black too.
Flat black, and all the hardware is polished gunmetal.
Oh yeah,
dude, it looks. It looks like it should be a what is that car? The Bugatti. I mean, it's like it should be in that type of environment.
So that's an advertisement of Bugatti.
Yeah,
with that humidor on top of it.
And I don't know if you know this, but the two founders of Case Elegance just started doing a podcast.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, video. Podcast. It's on their website, and it's just the two founders hanging out, smoking cigars, pairing with different alcoholic adult beverages. And, I mean, I love the fact that they are putting themselves out there for the guys that say, I want to know who I'm buying products from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when you have...
That's the same mindset that McAuliffe used.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, when you are out there for the people to be like, hey, here I am.
This is me.
This is not just some company with a marketing ploy.
Yeah.
We're the real deal. To put yourself out there like that is impressive to me.
100. That's being real.
Now,
that's what consumers look for, especially in a provider.
I'm going to tell you a secret.
Oh, Lord.
So, and nobody can tell Case Elegance that I did this. So I went on and I watched their show.
They do listen, you know.
So I went on and I watched their show. And I love the content.
Okay.
The information, what they're smoking, what they're pairing with.
Gotcha.
The conversations was great.
Gotcha.
But they had a comment section down below where you had to put your name and your email address, and then you could send in a comment. So I immediately typed in Bob and bob@gmail.com, and I promise you Bob hates my guts because I send all the junk I don't want to Bob. So anyway, in the comments I said, put on some pants. Nobody wants to see your balls.
And it came across the screen?
No, it just went to them.
Oh. I thought you said it was a part at the bottom.
No. It's not live.
Oh, Lord. I should say, first of all, Bob knows who you are now. And then they know that you did. And that was Rob.
Hey, they know that I'm Bob.
Yeah. It's Rob. It's not Bob. It's Rob. Oh, my gosh.
Anyway,
man.
though, I love the content. I just think Michael should put some long pants on.
as Larry called them, long pants.
Right. So anyway, look down in the show notes, and it'll take you straight on over to Case Elegance. I love those guys. They the innovation that I saw last week on a conference call with those guys, I was impressed with. And we'll talk about that on an up-and-coming show. But what they are doing design-wise, utility-wise, practicality-wise is amazing. So check them out. And if you order one of their humidors, use Cigar Talk coin, and you'll get 10% off or a challenge coin, whichever you want.
Whichever you want.
What?
He got both.
Well, Big Boy here got both.
He got the 10% and
he got
the coin.
10% off and the coin.
At, man?
Where's your coin? What is he, deaf? He's in his pocket. I'm not reaching for it.
He's 6'9". That's a deep pocket, bro.
So anyway, guys, we also want to give a shout out to our Patreon members.
Yes.
We thank you guys for supporting the show.
We thank Vic for coming and being on the show.
Vic is a Patreon, and we just want to say thank you to all of you guys because you are what keeps us going.
Most definitely.
I mean, we have people who listen, but you guys actually give feedback as far as also supporting the show.
Yes.
And so we appreciate that. And I just want to give a shout out right quick to Orlando, Groot, Zeka,
Jax,
Kyle, John Lane. Oh, no, dude.
He said no.
Let me tell you something.
What?
Jax Rocks, I hope you're listening, bro. You know what? Jax Rocks is in such high level of euphoria right now. You want to know why?
Why?
Because Terri Runnels addressed him by name during her interview.
Wow. Yeah, he on that rocket for real right now.
Are you aware that he is the announcer at wrestling events?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
For those small markets.
Yeah.
And for
and
WWE,
it's awesome, dude.
yeah.
I've watched videos of him out there, and I'm like, dude, we want to see more of you.
Oh, man. Love it. Love it.
Love Jax.
Keep moving, bro.
Yeah,
Keep
man.
moving.
And thank you. And also over in Atlanta, we've got Gunny.
Yes, sir.
Gunny, thank you for supporting the show. Gunny's the only guy at the king level.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, dude, he's been there a long time, and we want to give you a direct thank you.
Yes, sir.
All of our Patreons are so important to us, and you really do help the show keep going. I mean, we do get cigars, but Cigar Talk is so in debt.
Equipment.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you guys for taking care of us. We really do appreciate it. Anyway, man, that's going to wrap it up for this week's show. Hope you enjoyed it. And until next time,
keep smoking.
Boom.